This is Berger Bus Stop, one of the entry points into Lagos State. When you visit other states in Nigeria, you say, welcome to Ondo State, welcome to Ogun State, or welcome to Oyo State. But in Lagos State, we say, this is Lagos. This is because the city is known as the land of opportunities, having something to offer everyone, especially those with a can-do spirit. This is inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. Lagos State Governor has appealed to those with businesses in Apapa to formalize their activities and bring orderliness to the port area. Governor Gov Sanwoolu made this known while on an inspection tour of the area last Sunday.
Some businesses in Apapa has closed down because of the traffic in the area. With man hours and finances lost, the Apapa Gridlock is one headache the government needs to tackle. Governor Sanwoolu and his team set out with the mission of improving the journey time towards area. Their first port of call was the ongoing Costain Bridge construction. One part of it has been fully completed. Then the minor construction on the bridge from Alaka by the Federal Ministry of Works.
One part of it has been fully completed. The other part is still ongoing. And we've charged the contractor to see how well they quickly, bring about the completion of that second phase. And where also we noticed that the turning, because it was like a one-way directional sign, the turning, especially for trucks, was a bit inhibited because they didn't have a proper room to be able to maneuver. And so some of the things we're going to do, we're going to be chopping off some of the triangular section around Costain roundabout so that the trucks can have a lot more headroom. They can make that right turn and go towards Iponri, right? And people coming from Apapa Road that cannot access Western Avenue, the traffic has been that they will go through Iponri, go through Bode Thomas. They can still come out at Western Avenue and take under Iponri under bridge and continue on Western Avenue if they so wish. So that option is there. But the other thing we saw was the minor construction at the on the bridge from Alaka, which is being done by Federal Ministry of Works with Goodwill. You saw the piles, and you saw that we needed to. They are planning to push up the pylon, right? The truss repair. You saw all of it. That was why we had to close about 3 months ago. 2 months. You remember? That was why we had to close vehicle inbound from Alaka onto Lagos Island. That was why we had to close it. So once that is done, and they said they will finish, you saw all of their various foundations that have been put up there. Once that bridge is pushed up, maybe before the end of September, we're hoping that before the end of September, we will have completed that construction so that we can open up, from Alaka upward. Also, there is also a repair that we need to do on the other side, from Costain going towards Alaka, on the other side of the bridge. You saw that there was a tailback on Eco Bridge. If you are coming from Lagos inbound to Alaka, you saw there's always a tailback, and it gets to a position at the second bridge where you had to completely stop. Next weekend, ourselves and Federal Ministry of Works will be doing a major repair there so that we can fill that position up. But once we fill it up, what we're going to be doing is we're going to put a barricade so that high capacity vehicles will not be able to continue the journey to Alaka. They will come down, right, and go and take Costain and continue their journey.
The Ijora and the bridge was an eyesore, refuse dump and shanties occupied by people.
1 month ago, 2 months, you remember? That was why we had to close vehicle inbound from Alaka onto Lagos Island. That was why we had to close it. So once that is done, and they said they will finish, the
This, the governor said, can no longer be tolerated.
You saw all of the mess, we have under the bridge at Ijora. I can assure you that within the next 1 month, have spoken to the local government chairman, and have spoken to Ministry of Environment. Right, in the next, we're going to give them notice because we're going to clean up that place. But once we clean it up, we're also going to hand it over either to a corporate organization where they can lawn the entire place and put proper aesthetics there, like we have under the proper Ijora Bridge. You could see that 7-Up have taken over that whole place. Under that place too, we need to get a corporate that will take it over.
Apapa for years is known for traffic gridlock being the only functioning seaport area in Lagos State. Illegal operation at this place is another challenge. The governor said it is high time the system is overhauled.
It's a total system in which we need to overhaul, right? There were accusations and counter-accusations as if some people have fraudulently connived or they've been given some gratification for them to go to where we are. But you saw them. They were all denying and said that they were not the one that gave anybody money. Who gave money? How did you get to where? Is my boss. Where is your boss? He's not here. So these are some of the things that we need to go back and go and unravel. Go and unravel completely. We need to know the entire metrics of what is the process from when you are coming to where you need to get onto the port, right? So our journey here now has taken us under the Liverpool Bridge. You've seen that this is also a brand new transit truck that has been opened. It has a capacity for about 320 containers going into Tinkan Port. This is largely for Tinkan Port, right? And we know that all around Apapa here, there are about 30 other smaller holding parks that we have. But people are not going to those parks. That's also some of the problem. People are not going into those parks, right? Either people want to just stay on the road and be looking for businesses before they get into the port, right? And so we need to use this opportunity to appeal to our citizens, to appeal to all of these operators. We'll be meeting them even outside of this tour, to see how they can formalize themselves and put themselves in a way in which we can have a better orderly society, right? The effect of what they're doing is not only affecting our citizens, it's affecting, our way of life. People living in all of these environments are complaining on a daily basis. People are not having the best of time just because the port is here. But the port itself has an historic perspective to it. I've mentioned before that our two ports, in my view, we believe that we needed to have built another port because the capacity of what we're going through now at these two ports is far, more than what they were originally constructed for. So what have we done as a government? We are currently building with the MPA the Lekki port, which we are hoping that in another 2 years is supposed to be available. That's an alternative. But as it is now, right, we need to be able to immediately create an opportunity for us to have proper holding bay. The Lily Pond that I've talked about, the ABAT port holding bay that we talked about, this one to become live, and the other smaller places.
Mr. Sanwoolu also visited the ongoing road construction at Mile 2 along Lagos-Badagry Expressway. He also appealed to residents of Mile 2 to watch the way they dispose of their refuse to keep the road cleaner, longer, and better for all Lagosians.
There's been a major failure in this section of the Lagos-Badagry Express Road. Like I was explaining to the citizens, about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, we've cleared out of this drainage over 70 trips of blockage out of this drain in 2-3 weeks ago. You've seen that there's an attempt that they've started throwing garbage and all sorts back into the drain. The drain gets blocked. When it rains, the water does not have a place to go. It stays on the road, and you know that bitumen and water are not friends.
Lagos State government has reviewed the land use charge to reduce the financial pressure on citizens. This was disclosed by the Commissioner for Finance, Rabiu Olowo, at a press briefing. We were there.
We consider the land use charge reform very necessary at this time to accommodate the agitations of Lagosians and also to reduce the financial pressure on citizens as it relates to land use. As you are aware, in 2018, there was an increase in land use charge rate, as well as the method of valuation of properties. This twin shock had a sporadic increase in land use charge payable by property owners. In view of the aforementioned, the current administration, under the leadership of Mr. Governor, has decided to review the land use charge law by reversing the rate of the land use charge to the pre-2018 rate, while upholding the 2018 method of valuation. The key message here is that the 2018 land use charge law has been repealed, and Mr. Governor, through the assistance of the Lagos State House of Assembly, has enacted a new law termed the 2020 land use charge law. The reform has also considered multiple land use charge payment channels and efficient customer service management by setting up a call center where people can make inquiries, where people can bring up issues in a bid to get them resolved. The call center will be opened from Monday to Friday, and the number is 0700 Lagos LUC. This is been made very simple for people to remember, and so that it can be at their tip, to make any inquiry they want to make at any point in time. Number one, the definition of pensioner has been expanded to include all retirees from private and public institutions in the state, or any person that has attained the age of 60 years and has ceased to be actively engaged in any activity or business for remuneration. Number two, a property owned and occupied by a pensioner is therefore exempted from paying land use charge. Number three, also the percentage increase in penalties for defaults in paying land use charge has been reduced as follows. So I'm going to read this out in the days outstanding. From 45 days to 75 days, it has been reduced from 25% to 10%. From 75 days to 105 days, it has been reduced from 50% to 20%. From 105 days to 135 days, it's been reduced from 100% to 50%.
He also announces 48% reduction in annual charge rates.
For owner-occupied residential property, the annual charge rate has been reduced from 0.07% to 0.0394%. For industrial premises and manufacturing concerns, the annual charge rate has been reduced from 0.256% to 0.132%. For residential property or private school, owner and third party, the chargeable rate has been reduced from 0.256% to 0.132%. For residential property without owner residing in it, it has been reduced from 0.76% to 0.394%. For commercial property that is used by the occupier for business purposes, it has been reduced from 0.76% to 0.394%. Also, taking into cognizance what's happening in the economy today vis-a-vis vacant properties and open empty land, the chargeable rate for this category of properties have been reduced from 0.076% to 0.0394%. In aggregate, it's come to very close to about half, about 50% reduction, in total. But to be more specific, it's about 48% reduction that has been made in the annual charge rate of the land use charge. Number five, Still on reductions, another major sector that had its charge reduced is the agricultural sector, which annual charge rate for agricultural land was reduced from 0.076% to 0.01%. This is an 87% reduction from the old rate.
Meanwhile, penalties for land use charge for year 2017, 2018 and 2019 have been waived. This translates to more than 5 billion naira revenue waived by the state. Property owned and occupied by pensioners is also exempted from paying land use charge.
The Lagos State Government is set to revive the 279-hectare Songhai Food Production Centre, now known as the Lagos Food Production Centre in Avia Badagry. Governor Babajide Sanwoolu made this known while inspecting the centre. He explained that this was necessary in preparation for the takeoff of the state government's 2 food centres in the state. Sanwoolu pointed out that reviving the centre, which was originally acquired by the state government in 2012 for commercial agricultural projects, would encourage organic farming using biological methods to enhance production outputs. According to the governor, focusing on local food production will increase agricultural production that will meet the food needs of the state's growing population, transform agriculture to commercial and export-oriented production, and generate employment for the youth.
Worship centers have now reopened in Lagos following the directives of Governor Babajide Sanwoolu that places of worship can now open at half their normal capacity and under strict health safety protocol. Mosques in Lagos State reopened for Jumat last Friday for the first time in 5 months. We were there.
The faithful make their ways into the mosque with social distancing. Alawusa Central Mosque has a 5,000 capacity, but it only opened to 500 worshippers for this Jumat. With number tags, the faithful gained entrance into the mosque. Others were turned back. As precautionary measure, there is an ambulance on standby. Temperature check, washing of hands with soap before ablution are also part of the protocol. No face masks, no entry.
We have about 4 entrances to this mosque, and we have shut all the entrances but left open 2, one for male and one for females. We take register. You give us your name, your phone number, and your address. So for possible, contact. So in case we see something that is not foreseeable, we want to prevent all of that.
Jumat resumed in many parts of the world, but with it came adherence to the new norm.
Once we get 100% compliance, if not a good, number of compliance, then as the figure continues to slow down, definitely we can't be like this forever. The compliance of this will now, energize the reopening of other level of prayers.
No doubt that the faithful would have to live with this new normal as they congregate weekly. At the second unit of the prayer, the Imam prays fervently for COVID-19 pandemic to become history as soon as that is possible. Participants said they are satisfied with the new order.
Anything that will make you healthy and to be alive, Islam approves it. So that is why social distancing and spacing in the mosque for prayers is in compliance with Islamic teachings and understanding.
I feel almost fulfilled, as if it should just continue, because it's been a long while.
Prayer will help, but we also have to take responsibility by keeping to all those protocols.
On 20th of March, an order suspending religious gatherings took effect in Lagos State. On 4th of June, Governor Babajide Sanwoolu first lifted the ban. On 16th of June, the governor said that resumption could no longer happen. On the 1st of August, another announcement was made, and finally, religious activities kicked off on the 7th of August. Governor Gov Sanwoolu in his briefing said places of worship were only permitted to have their regular once-a-week program.
The 9th of August for our Christian worshippers.
Lagos State government also made it clear that handshakes and hugs are not permitted at services or gatherings. Attendees over the age of 65 years were also strongly discouraged from attending worship centers. Christian faithful also witnessed changes in their usual Sunday ritual after 20 weeks of shutdown.
It's been 20 weeks since churches in Nigeria shut their doors to congregants due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, most of them reopened after several meetings with the state government on adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines. TVC visited these churches and they had thermometers, hand-washing basins, face masks, hand sanitizers, and they maintained physical distancing. The story wasn't any different as these other churches visited both on the island and the mainland. The prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria and others say the church was adversely affected by the pandemic, but they are happy to be back.
We lost some people, very prominent people in our church. But there are people between 70, 80, 90.
Every Sunday, we know each other, we'll be together for many years, and we come to worship and enjoy ourselves in the presence of God. That hasn't happened for about 4 months now. Beyond that, we lost quite a number of people as well. We don't know what killed them.
They feel very safe. Before we started the second service, we fumigated the church again to ensure that, the next set of people that come in feel that they are in a clean environment.
When laws are made, there will be some who will test its might, like this family who have 3 children whose age were under 12. They were not granted access into the church premises.
Actually, I feel bad. Honestly, I've been told before, but I have to that's why I'm here with my spouse, so that we can hang around the children. Then after the service, I will go. Then we are going to do it a turn-by-turn thing.
The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on religious matters says he's satisfied with how the churches obeyed the law.
We can see the members registering their names, washing their hands, using thermometers, and I believe the level of compliance is very, very encouraging.
With 50% of maximum capacity, churches can hold multiple services with each service lasting between 1 and 2 hours, with an exemption on occasional services like marriages, burial and others, which are not allowed to exceed 1 hour with not more than 50 persons.